Welcome to my channel Echoes of Coin. Billions of 1978 pennies were struck, yet only a handful hide secrets worth far more than a single cent. From rare mint errors to nearly flawless red survivors, one overlooked coin from this year could transform pocket change into a collector's treasure. Could the penny in your hand be one of them? The 1978 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln cent or penny, represents an important continuation of the longest-running coin design in United States history. By the time this coin was struck, the Lincoln cent had been in circulation for nearly 7 decades, having first appeared in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The year 1978 stands as one of the final issues of the traditional bronze composition before the sweeping changes of the early 1980s, when the mint transitioned the penny to a copper-plated zinc format. For that reason, the 1978 cent has historical importance in addition to its role in commerce. The obverse of the 1978 penny continues the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln created by Lithuanian-born sculptor Victor David Brenner. This design had been used continuously since 1909, making it instantly recognizable to generations of Americans. Lincoln faces right in a dignified bust, with his beard, hair, and facial features carefully detailed. Above his head is the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left of the portrait is the word "Liberty," while to the right is the date, 1978. Beneath the date, a mint mark may appear depending on where the coin was struck. Philadelphia issues carry no mint mark, Denver issues bear a small D, and San Francisco proof issues are marked with an S. This obverse design represents one of the most enduring works of art in American numismatics. The reverse of the 1978 1-cent coin features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro, who served as chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. This design replaced the wheat ears reverse in 1959, coinciding with the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Gasparro's memorial design shows the monument in fine detail, complete with its steps, columns, and pediment. Remarkably, if viewed under magnification, one can see the tiny figure of the seated Lincoln statue inside the memorial, a tribute to the president housed in the actual monument in Washington, D.C. Above the memorial is the inscription United States of America, while the motto E Pluribus Unum appears directly above the structure. At the bottom is the denomination 1 cent, boldly displayed to confirm the coin's value. Compositionally, the 1978 penny was struck in the long-standing bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Each coin weighs 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter, with a plain edge. The bronze composition gives the coin a distinct reddish-brown color when freshly struck, though over time exposure to air and handling causes many examples to tone to darker brown shades. Collectors categorize Lincoln cents based on their remaining color: full red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN. Full red coins, with most of their original mint luster intact, are far more desirable and command higher values. The mintage of the 1978 1-cent coin was immense, as pennies remained essential to everyday commerce in the United States. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 5.56 billion examples, the Denver Mint struck nearly 4.28 billion, and the San Francisco Mint contributed more than 3.1 million proof coins. Combined, this massive production ensured that the 1978 cent circulated widely throughout the country. The sheer abundance of these coins means that they remain relatively common today in circulated grades, though uncirculated and proof examples attract strong interest among collectors. In terms of grading and collectability, most 1978 cents survive in well-worn condition due to their heavy use in commerce. Circulated examples hold little to no premium over face value, but uncirculated specimens, particularly those in high mint state grades, are much scarcer. The Sheldon grading scale, ranging from 1 to 70, is used to evaluate coins. A typical uncirculated 1978 cent might grade between MS-63 and MS-65, but coins at MS-67 and above are rare. Proof coins, graded separately, are evaluated not only for numerical grade but also for cameo contrast. The most desirable proof 1978 cents are those with the deep cameo DCAM designation, showing strong contrast between frosted design elements and deeply mirrored fields. Mint errors and varieties add further intrigue to the 1978 cent. Though no major double-die varieties are officially recognized for this year, collectors often search for minor anomalies. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks occasionally appear among 1978 cents, each commanding premiums based on severity and rarity. For error specialists, these coins represent unique glimpses into the minting process and the mechanical challenges faced by the U.S. Mint during high-volume production runs. The economic context of 1978 gives further meaning to the coin. The late 1970s were a period of significant inflation in the United States, with the value of the dollar steadily eroding. By 1978, the purchasing power of a single cent was limited, yet the coin remained a vital tool for providing exact change and anchoring the decimal system. Discussions about eliminating the penny had already begun in some circles, though tradition and public sentiment ensured its survival. The Lincoln cent, carrying the portrait of one of America's most revered presidents, held symbolic weight that extended far beyond its face value. The penny also served as an educational tool and a gateway to numismatics. For countless young collectors in the 1970s, finding a shiny new 1978 cent in pocket change was a spark of inspiration. Filling coin albums with cents from each year and mint mark was a popular hobby, and the 1978 issues were readily available for such pursuits. Collectors could easily distinguish Philadelphia coins without mint marks from Denver coins marked with a D, while proof sets containing the S mint mark coins could be ordered directly from the mint. This accessibility made the Lincoln cent one of the most approachable series for beginning numismatists. Beyond its role in collecting and commerce, the 1978 cent reflects the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln himself. Lincoln's portrait was the first of a real historical figure to appear on a regular U.S. coin, breaking with the long-standing tradition of allegorical depictions of liberty. His image on the cent symbolized unity and strength, values particularly resonant during the cent's introduction in 1909 and just as meaningful decades later in 1978. The Lincoln Memorial reverse reinforced this symbolism, tying the coin directly to the monument in Washington, D.C., that serves as a national shrine to Lincoln's memory. The 1978 cent also belongs to a transitional era of U.S. coinage. Just 4 years later, in 1982, the mint would alter the composition of the cent due to rising copper prices. The cost of producing bronze cents was becoming unsustainable, as the intrinsic value of the metal approached the coin's face value. The change to copper-plated zinc fundamentally altered the nature of the penny, reducing its weight from 3.11 grams to 2.5 grams and changing its feel in hand. For that reason, the 1978 cent and its bronze contemporaries represent the final chapter of a classic era in American numismatics. Today, collectors value the 1978 cent both as a common coin easily obtained in circulation and as a collectible in top condition. Brilliant red, uncirculated examples graded MS-67 or higher are prized for their rarity relative to the enormous mintage. Proof coins with deep cameo contrast, particularly those graded PR69 or PR70, also attract strong demand. Error coins add an element of uniqueness, with values depending on type and severity. For most people, however, the 1978 penny remains a nostalgic reminder of pocket change from their youth. A coin that passed through millions of hands while carrying the image of one of the nation's greatest leaders. The 1978 1-cent coin is one of the most widely produced coins of the Lincoln cent series. Yet beneath its common appearance lies a rich history of design, composition, and economic context. Although it circulated in billions, the 1978 penny reflects the final years of the traditional bronze composition and holds a special place in the broader story of U.S. coinage. Collectors, historians, and numismatists study it not because it is rare in circulation, but because it represents both the culmination of decades of tradition and the threshold of change that would soon alter the Lincoln cent forever. The design of the 1978 penny is immediately recognizable to anyone familiar with American money. On the obverse, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln by Victor David Brenner had already been a fixture of American life for nearly 70 years. Introduced in 1909, the Lincoln cent was the first U.S. coin to feature an actual person rather than the allegorical figure of liberty. This decision marked a major turning point in coin design, one that was initially controversial but eventually embraced as an enduring tradition. By 1978, The coin's obverse had become iconic, symbolizing not only Lincoln's legacy but also the permanence of the design itself. Lincoln's bust, facing right, is detailed with careful attention to his beard, hair, and clothing, a level of realism that contrasted sharply with earlier allegorical depictions. The motto "In God We Trust" appears prominently at the top, a reminder of the nation's religious heritage. To the left of the portrait is the word liberty, and to the right is the date 1978. Depending on mint of origin, a small mint mark may appear beneath the date. A D for Denver, an S for San Francisco proofs, or no mark for Philadelphia. The reverse design, created by Chief Engraver Frank Gasparro in 1959, features the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This design replaced the wheat ears reverse that had been used from 1909 through 1958. Gasparro's design was meant to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, creating symmetry between the obverse portrait and the reverse monument. The Lincoln Memorial is rendered with precision, showing its columns, steps, and pediment. A small but fascinating detail is the inclusion of the seated statue of Lincoln within the memorial, visible under magnification. This feature connects the coin not just to the monument's exterior, but to its symbolic interior representation of Lincoln himself. Above the memorial appears the inscription, United States of America, while E pluribus unum rests above the building. The denomination 1 cent fills the lower portion of the design. Though some collectors at the time felt that the memorial design lacked the charm of the earlier wheat stalks, it served the purpose of modernizing the coin and linking it directly to a national monument. In terms of composition, the 1978 penny was struck from a bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This had been the standard since 1962, when the mint adjusted the formula from the earlier bronze mixture used from 1909 to 1962. Each coin weighed 3.11 grams, had a diameter of 19 millimeters, and a plain edge. The reddish color of freshly struck coins was attractive but vulnerable to oxidation, causing most pennies to darken over time. Collectors categorize coins into red, red-brown, and brown depending on how much of the original luster remains. Full red coins from 1978 are considerably scarcer than brown-toned examples, especially in higher mint state grades, and they command premium values on the collector market. The mintage figures for the 1978 cent underscore its ubiquity. The Philadelphia Mint produced more than 5.56 billion pieces, while the Denver Mint added nearly 4.28 billion. The San Francisco Mint contributed approximately 3.1 million proof coins, which were not intended for circulation but instead packaged in proof sets for collectors. This combined total of nearly 10 billion coins makes the 1978 penny one of the most heavily produced coins in U.S. history. Because of this, most examples are still very easy to find today, often appearing in circulation even decades later. Yet the high mintage also presents a paradox. While common in general, coins of exceptional quality are rare due to the difficulty of preserving copper coins without blemishes or toning. For collectors, condition and grade are everything when it comes to 1978 cents. The vast majority of these coins circulated extensively, leaving them worn, scratched, or discolored. Coins in grades of good G4 to very fine VF30 remain abundant and hold only face value. The value begins to rise in uncirculated examples. Mint state coins, MS60 and above, show no wear, but they often exhibit contact marks from mass handling at the mint. A typical uncirculated 1978 cent might grade MS63 or MS64, and while common, they can still fetch small premiums. Coins graded MS65 or higher become scarcer, and those achieving MS67 red are rare and highly sought after. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC have certified relatively few examples at these top levels, making them highlights in advanced Lincoln cent collections. Proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint are evaluated differently. These coins were made with polished dies and special striking techniques, giving them mirror-like surfaces and frosted devices. Proofs are graded on a similar 1 to 70 scale, but designations such as cameo, CAM, and deep cameo, DCAM, are added to indicate the degree of contrast. A A proof 1978 graded PR69 DCAM is considered nearly perfect, while PR70 DCAM coins represent flawless examples. These proofs are far scarcer than circulation strikes, though because they were preserved in proof sets, many survive in excellent condition. Their value depends on the grade and level of cameo contrast. Mint errors and varieties provide another dimension of collecting interest. Although no widely recognized double-die obverse or reverse varieties exist for 1978, error collectors still search for unusual examples. Off-center strikes are among the most dramatic, where part of the design is missing due to misalignment during striking. A 1978 cent struck 50% off-center can command a significant premium. Clipped planchets, in which a portion of the coin's edge is missing due to an error in blank preparation, are also collected. Die cracks, cuds, raised areas caused by die breaks, and misaligned dies represent more common errors that still generate interest. These coins illustrate the challenges of high-volume production and provide unique collectibles among otherwise common issues. The economic environment of 1978 further contextualizes the penny's role. The United States was facing inflationary pressures, with rising prices eroding the purchasing power of money. By 1978, a penny could buy little on its own, though it remained necessary for exact change in transactions. The debate over whether to continue producing the penny had already begun, as critics argued that its cost outweighed its usefulness. Yet tradition, public attachment, and the symbolic presence of Lincoln ensured that the coin remained. The Lincoln cent was more than a tool of commerce. It was a cultural icon, recognized instantly by Americans of all ages. The symbolic significance of the Lincoln cent in 1978 should not be underestimated. Lincoln was remembered as the leader who preserved the Union during its most perilous moment, the Civil War, and who embodied the principles of liberty and equality. His image on the smallest denomination coin was both practical and meaningful. For schoolchildren, the penny was often the first coin encountered, a tangible introduction to both money and history. For adults, it was a daily reminder of Lincoln's enduring legacy. The reverse design of the Lincoln Memorial reinforced this symbolism, connecting the coin to one of the most visited monuments in the nation's capital. In numismatic terms, the 1978 cent belongs to the late Bronze era of the Lincoln series. Collectors often divide Lincoln cents into subtypes: Wheat Ears Reverse, 1909 to 1958; Lincoln Memorial Reverse Bronze, 1959 to 1982, and post-1982 copper-plated zinc. The 1978 issue falls into the second category, one of the final years before the composition change. This gives it added importance as a representative of the traditional bronze series. Collectors who build typesets or year sets of Lincoln cents include the 1978 penny as a standard issue, but those seeking high-grade examples face a greater challenge than the huge mintage might suggest. The popularity of coin roll hunting has also given new life to the 1978 cent enthusiasts' search through rolls of pennies from banks in hopes of finding uncirculated examples, errors, or coins with unusual toning. While most finds are ordinary circulated pieces, the thrill of discovery makes the process rewarding. Occasionally, rolls yield high-grade survivors or dramatic mint errors that add excitement to the hunt. The 1978 cent, due to its massive production, frequently appears in these searches, making it a staple of the hobby. Auction results shed light on the upper end of the 1978 cent's value. While circulated examples are worth face value, coins in exceptional condition have sold for hundreds of dollars. For instance, an MS-67 red example certified by PCGS or NGC can sell for over $200 depending on demand. Proofs graded PR70 Deep Cameo can achieve similarly strong prices, as collectors of modern proof coins compete for the finest available specimens. Error coins can sell for even more, with dramatic off-center strikes or multiple errors commanding premiums that far exceed the face value. These results demonstrate that even a coin as common as the 1978 cent can achieve significant value in the right circumstances. The 1978 cent also illustrates broader themes in American coinage. It reflects the tension between tradition and change, as the mint prepared to alter the penny's composition just a few years later. It highlights the importance of design longevity, with Brenner's portrait enduring for over a century and Gasparro's reverse lasting 50 years. It embodies the connection between coins and national identity, with Lincoln's image reminding citizens of unity and sacrifice. And it shows how even the most ordinary coin can become extraordinary in the context of collecting, grading, and error discovery. For historians, the 1978 cent provides a snapshot of American life in the late 1970s. It was a time of political change, economic struggle, and cultural evolution. Yet amid these challenges, the penny remained a constant presence, exchanged in billions of transactions and carried in millions of pockets. For collectors today, it offers not only a link to that era but also a continuing challenge: to find the finest, most perfect examples of a coin that most people overlook.